Do you all know the story of the pet squirrel? Is it in New York City? It's New York City. Do you know that story? I read it in disbelief. A man and his wife have a sanctuary, as it were, for herding animals that are hurt and that are found, and people bring them to them, and they take care of them. They have 250 animals.
Susie watched the whole squirrel thing over the year.
Yeah. Oh, she watched it over the year.
I mean, she just
Your wife.
followed Squirrel.
Yeah, well, I'd only followed it recently.
Yeah.
So one of them was a squirrel that they have. What's the squirrel's name again? The late squirrel? So they have a squirrel about, I'd say, 7 years. The mother was killed and he was wounded, and they picked him up and they've nursed him, and it's become a very popular feature on Instagram.
That's where Susie followed.
I'm sorry?
Yeah,
That's how Susie followed it. Yeah, okay, that's right. And then somebody snitched on him. He is violating the law. You can't Peanut. Yeah, that's right. P apostrophe N-U-T. Very famous. The most famous squirrel in the country. It's like I had the most famous dog in the country, Otto. He has the most famous squirrel in the country. And the squirrel was utterly domesticated. If this squirrel had been put out in the wild, it would have been killed immediately. And then some governmental agency came to the house with guns. I mean, I actually had to read that. I didn't believe it. I thought, I'm reading it wrong. With guns. Like they do to J6 people who were equally horrible as the man who kept the squirrel. And they killed the squirrel. People commenting on this have noted this is such a perfect example of what happens when government gets too big. First of all, it produces monsters. I am scared of faceless bureaucrats. I don't get scared much, as I think you all know. COVID didn't scare me, for example. But I just don't get scared. Oh, I'm scared. I'm scared of the deep state. I am. I am scared of the faceless bureaucrat who follows the law and is heartless. What did the people who came with guns to this man's house because he had a squirrel? What did the people with guns, and they ransacked his house? What were they looking for? Other squirrels? What were they looking for? They ransacked the house. They didn't allow the husband or wife to go to the bathroom. She said she held herself for 6 hours. Had she relieved herself, one of these agents would have checked on the toilet after she was there. The humiliation, the degradation. We have scum in government. Not all people in government are scum, but we have scum in government. It attracts scummy people. People who love to have power over others. It brings them joy. It brings the entire left joy.